A Williamson County grand jury has just indicted Williamson County Sheriff Robert Chody. Now, these charges are related to the case of Javier Ambler, who died in custody when deputies took him into custody back in 2019. Our own Defender senior reporter Tony Plahetsky has been following this case from the very beginning. He joins us live from the Williamson County Criminal Justice Complex with the very latest. And Tony, what have you learned about this?
And this all being confirmed just within the last few minutes. It is according to records that have been posted on the Williamson County Criminal Justice website. And that website is confirming within the last few minutes that Williamson County Sheriff Robert Chody has been indicted on a charge of evidence tampering, as has the county's general counsel, Jason Nassour. We are still learning more details about these charges. What exactly are the next steps for the sheriff, obviously the county's leading law enforcement official, but also an attorney who, again, is a leading executive in county government here as well, Jason Nassour. Evidence tampering charges are both felony charges. They face possibly time in prison if convicted of these charges. Obviously, though, there is a long time between now, the date that these charges have been filed, and any possible outcome. But this all goes back to the death of Javier Ambler that happened in March 2019. It was a chase that started because Javier Ambler failed to dim his headlights, and the pursuit lasted 22 minutes going into the city of Austin. That is where deputies used tasers on Javier Ambler. They tased him 4 times, according to records. Javier Ambler died a short time later. We first revealed the death of Javier Ambler in June. That was based on reporting that we actually started back in February. And as we reported in June, Travis County District Attorney Margaret Moore said at the time that sheriff's officials had stonewalled, according to her, the investigation. We saw the Williamson County District Attorney Sean Dick and DA Margaret Moore, Travis County DA Margaret Moore, open a joint investigation within days of our reporting on Javier Ambler's death. They said they were going to be looking into possible evidence tampering charges. That came after Live PD said that they had destroyed video in Javier Ambler's death. We know that the reality TV show Live PD was with those 2 deputies the night that they encountered Javier Ambler and chased him. And again, this all culminating right now with evidence tampering charges against the sitting sheriff here in Williamson County, Robert Chody, as well as the county's general counsel, Jason Nassour. That is what we know at this time. Obviously, we have been reaching out to attorneys for both Jason Nassour and Robert Chody. They have not made any sort of public statements yet. Neither has District Attorney Sean Dick or Travis County District Attorney Margaret Moore, whose office has been involved in this investigation as well.
Now, Tony, you also have reported that the grand jury was looking into possibly looking into Live PD as well. Has there been an update in that investigation?
Yeah, and I don't have any additional information on the possible actions of Live PD during this whole situation. What I can tell you is that what we have confirmed right now is that the indictments are only against Sheriff Robert Chody and only against General Counsel Jason Nassour. If there are other indictments, we do not know that yet. We do know, though, that Live PD was part of this ongoing grand jury investigation. And what we also know is that under Texas law, it is in theory possible for a business entity, for a production company like Big Fish Entertainment, that's the production company that made Live PD, that they could in theory be charged with a crime as well. But as of right now, just before noon, the only on record court documents that we have right now are against the sheriff and against the general counsel here in Williamson County.
This is certainly a shocking development. Do we know if the grand jury is looking at anybody else, Tony, and how long is the grand jury impaneled for?
And it is my understanding that at this point, the grand jury's work may have ended on Friday. keep in mind, Jenny, they've been looking at this case for weeks now. They have heard, as we've reported, live testimony from witnesses, from deputies who were not only at the scene the night that Javier Ambler died, but also may have been involved in the subsequent investigation. We can theorize the types of questions that prosecutors and grand jury members would have been asking those witnesses. What did you see? Did you see the sheriff involved in any kind of discussions about this video? Did you see the general counsel, Jason Nassour, involved in any kind of discussion about this video? And Jenny, the other thing that is, of course, really striking is the timing of these indictments. And I think in the next few weeks, there's going to be a lot of discussion about the timing of these indictments. Keep in mind that Sheriff Robert Chody is on the ballot in November for a second term as Williamson County Sheriff. He is a Republican candidate. He does have a Democrat opponent, Mike Gleason. They have both obviously been on the campaign trail as much as possible during this COVID period. But I think a lot of political observers obviously are going to now be keeping a close track about the politics in this and the timing of this and whether or not and how much it could play a role in the election. Presumably, of course, it will play some role in the election.
Oh, I think a lot of observers, insiders will definitely say this will play a role. It's been a very contentious race between Chody and his opponent, Gleason, the Democratic frontrunner in this. And so obviously there's a lot to moving forward, a lot to dig into. And so Sean Dick, obviously not saying anything else about this, or haven't said anything about this, right, moving forward.
Right, and presumably we will be hearing from Sean Dick later on this afternoon. I do believe that under the law, that prosecutors are not allowed to discuss an indictment against a defendant until that defendant has been booked into jail. So what you can imagine has been taking place this morning is some sort of arrangement for the sheriff to turn himself into his own jail, potentially. That is what likely will happen sometime this afternoon, possibly within the next few hours. Obviously, we are here, we are watching the jail to see whether or not the sheriff may be doing that, but will obviously be an extraordinary moment when the sheriff surrenders himself, as we expect him to do, to his own jail this afternoon.